So I don't think that the value of this report is even equal to the paper on which it is written. Frankly, it is totally worthless. Certainly, what it doesn't do, therefore, is to absolve those suspected of having got dirty money. I have been seeing in the media, the report absolved. Where in this report does it absolve? It doesn't. You know, our struggle has been very costly to those who want change. You know, many people have died. Many people are maimed. It's emotional. Because you've heard us say over and over again that our country has been captured by the family of Mr. Museveni. Not even by an institution, not by NRM, not by even the military, it's by the family. And we know what has happened to institutions where the money has gone from that institute, from those sources. So to trivialize it and say, you know, because the supposition was that maybe me also, I was getting money from there. Why am I asking others where they are getting money? But if anybody would have information that the very problem you want to remove is the one facilitating you, and you keep quiet about it, then you are self-abetting treason. You are helping the destruction of the mission. So anyway, that meeting which we held here did not yield results. After that, the Honorable Nandala pulled out some files that he wanted to explain where the money came from, that it is his money, but we didn't get into those details. Save for that having been the first sign for me that poor Patrick Amriat was also involved, because the reason I approached him first was that my information was that he was not part of it. But when I invited all these for a meeting here, he was the only one who knew why I was inviting the meeting. So when I saw Nandala pull out files to give explanation when I had not told him why I was inviting him, I immediately knew that he was informed in advance what the meeting was all about. We tried still, shortly after that meeting failed to generate any progress, but it was clear that we would not make much progress, mainly because of the election activities that were taking place at the same time. So we decided to sort of freeze the attempt to establish and manage this until the election ends. And as I have pointed out, that was part of the reason I did not want to be involved in that campaign. Of course, we carried out the same attempt after the election, which we have talked about already. Now, when that information came to me about dirty money, I quickly went back to the money which had been given to me and removed those labels from Bank of Uganda, which were showing the notes, the serial numbers of the monies involved. And that is because new money coming out of the central bank can be traceable when it is released to circulation. That's how they ensure that there are no counterfeits. The serial numbers are traceable. And especially if it is new money, like we had now, it's possible to know where it was released to. So I recovered that information, which eventually I also supplied to the committee of elders, but which I also used myself to find out more information about this money. So after failing to make progress with it, nobody talked about what we should do with this money. In fact, I was consulting with my colleagues, what should we do with this money we now think is problematic. But as I have said, there was the whole hula-barrow of the election going on then. And then I am in Rukunjiri towards the election itself, that they want the money to use it for agents. And that was the first time I heard of this story of agents. Said, the other money, you can have it. Now, since I was away, I suggested to him that it can be put at my petrol station in Zambia, where there was some security, and that it can be picked from there. And I informed the person where it was being kept to then deliver it to Zambia. And I was completely under the impression that that had been, and the other point I wanted it delivered from Zambia was that I wanted an acknowledgement